Okay, it's Sunday and we have well, in fact we have 4 games lined up. We're actually playing a campaign, which is the Sigmars Blood. So we're playing the first game, and this one's called the Midnight Hunt. Sai is going to play the Empire, and I'm going to play the Vampire Counts. So, just running through my deployment. So as per the units recommended in the book, we've gone for exactly what it says in the book. So this is what I've got with my choice ordinarily. So I've got 20 ghouls with command, or the champion at least. Van Gorst, who's the general, he's a necromancer and a corpse guard. Bad place to be. 20 skeletons for command, and I have 10 direwolves with the ambusher rule. And that's it for me. That's all I got. So hand you over to Si now, see what he's got.
Hey, I have fared slightly better in this scenario than Ollie. So I have a great cannon. I have 8 Knights of the Blazing Sun, which is pretty bloody good. I have 20 militia with full command with a witch hunter, and then I have 10 handgunners. So yeah, I've done rather well. We're all deployed. Ollie won the deployment as he basically gets plus 2 because of the special rules. So yeah, with that, we'll see you at the end of the Vampire Counts turn 1.
Okay, so we're going to record by the game turn. So first up for me, I didn't do anything. I just stayed there. Had a magic phase roll, 3 dice, cast Gaze of Nagash, which is one of my preset spells. I managed to kill 5 of the swordsmen, which was nice. The witch hunter actually gives them plus 2 magic resistance, which is quite nice. So I managed to save 3, otherwise it would have been 8 dead. So that was good. That was it for me. And then over to Sai's turn. He tell us what he did, Si?
I just moved everyone up, so everyone marched forward, and then the cannon fired and took out the piece of scenery in front of the corpse cart.
Yeah, so he's bricking it now. Literally. Okay, so that's the end of turn 1. Okay, it's the end of game turn 2. So in my turn, I shuffled these guys sideways, and him. These guys shuffled up a bit sideways as well. The wolves came in to threaten the cannon. Then I had a magic phase. I got the cursed book off using 1 dice. I rolled like 9 dice, which was quite nice. Cursed book went off for a soul blight, but so I dispelled it. Then I cast Van Hales on these guys. And then I used Gaze of Nagash to kill 1 blazing sunlight. Then it was Sai's turn, and Sai...
I moved everyone up.
Yep.
And then scuttled my cannon to prevent him from having the win.
Bastard.
And by scuttle the cannon, I meant tried to shoot his necromancer.
Yeah, he had a nice shot because he could bypass the wall because it's just overlapping a bit. But yeah, some genius had a bright idea of spiking the gun instead. So yeah, any fear of the cannon is now gone. Not that I was overly afraid of it in the first place, because I'm playing Sai. So yeah, so that was the end of game turn 2. Okay, it's the end of game turn 3. So I got aggressive, and I elected to charge all my units into his swordsman. Skeletons failed and just like hopped over the fence. We're left stranded. The ghouls and the necromancer made it. And he failed his fear test, unfortunate for him, and I managed to get off Van Hales with irresistible force, which did a wound to my necromancer, rolling a 9 on it, or 8, whichever one. So I did a strength 6 hit, which obviously failed to save because he didn't have one. And then I got pretty lucky because the 2 ghouls here on the side, which were just clipping his witch hunter, managed to kill him.
Very lucky.
And then through impact hits and wounds, and obviously Van Hales, it was the bubble one. So I rerolls to hit, and I managed to kill quite a few of them, and he did nothing in return. And I managed to run the unit down with the ghouls. And this guy just reformed. And that was it for me. I'll turn the dogs around because they've got no cannon to fight now. So that was it for me. And then in Si's turn, he...
Well, I did the only thing that was left available to me, which was charge the knights into the skeletons. I only managed to kill like 4, or 5, sorry, which was pretty pathetic. And I actually lost a guy in return, which is very, very annoying. So yeah, I'm basically getting charged up the arse by the corpse cart next turn. And yeah, I shot the handgunners at the ghouls and killed 1. I've rolled absolutely abysmally. And yeah, so I'm basically 99.99% screwed at this point. But yeah.
Luckily for Si, I did make a bit of an idiot manoeuvre and just face these this way. I've no idea why. So they could have been facing this way. I could have charged them next turn, but I didn't. So we'll have to see what happens in game turn 4. Okay, so this is actually the end of Vampire Count's turn. Was it 4?
4.
Yeah, 4. Okay, so I charge the corpse cart into the back of these, reform these, charge the dogs in the back of the handgunners. These guys ate the handgunners. Oh, sorry, in the magic phase I cast... Well, I attempted to cast Van Hales and failed it.
You used the curse book first.
Oh yeah, the curse book,
got rid of my
which I dispelled,
spells.
and then I failed to dispel cast Van Hales. The dogs ate the handgunners. This combat managed to kill 1 knight. I won the combat by 1. He held, but in his fight he killed like 5 skeletons. But with the 2 guys at the back, he actually managed to kill Van Gorst. Which consequently meant my army started crumbling. So after the combat, even though I won it, at the end of the phase I did the crumbling tests. I lost 8 skeletons, there's only 2 left now. The ghouls were fine, and I lost 2 dogs as well. So on the clock now, I've got to somehow kill those knights before my army crumbles. Or at least have something left over by turn 6, so I can conserve the points. We'll have to see. But I've definitely lost those skeletons now, so it's looking a lot closer than it was a little while ago. So we'll head over to Empire turn 4.
Okay, it was it's the end of a very, very short Empire turn, in that I basically chopped up the last 2 skeletons. Well, the knights killed 1, and the 2 horses managed to ninja the other. So I was able to reform, so I have done so to bring everyone's horses to bear for maximum attacks. And yeah, that's basically the end of the turn. So it's now time for Vampire Count's turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of game turn 5. Not as much happened here, so we're just doing the whole game turn. So I charged the ghouls. I did a bit more crumbling. I lost 1 ghoul and 2 more dogs. Charged the ghouls into the knights. Killed 1 of them. But I still ended up losing the combat because he killed, I think, like 4 of mine. So I lost the combat and just lost 1. Then it was his turn and he fought back, killed 3 of them, and I killed another 1 of his. So he won the combat. Sorry, he killed 2 of them. So he won the combat by 1, so I lost another 1 to crumble. So now we're heading into game turn 6. So hopefully I can beat him, but I've got to make a crumble test first. So we'll have to see. So yeah, climactic end coming up. Okay, it's the end of game turn 6 and consequently the end of the game. So, like I said, the last turn was pretty much just the combat here. So I crumbled a few more guys, rolled pretty well. Managed to kill 1 of his knights. He in return killed a few of mine. He won the combat by 1, so another 1 crumbled. Then in his turn, we fought again. The dogs just moved up. Lost another 1 to crumble. He killed a few more. And with my attacks back, obviously striking at the same time, I managed to kill his last 2 knights. So he got 4 wounds and he rolled 2 1s, unfortunately.
3 1s?
No, there was only 2 left.
No, but there was 3 1s I rolled out of 5 wounds.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't do 4 wounds, did you?
Yeah, I rolled 3 1s on that.
No, I thought
there was.
Well, he rolled 1 more 1 than he needed to lose. So victory to the Vampire Counts on the first game. So moving on to the next game, which is called Parley of Blades. Okay, it's now game 2, Parlay of Blades. So I had to set up before Si, so I'll run you through what I've got. So I've got 30 zombies called the Tithe, Manfred, sitting on a horse. Yeah, I don't know who wrote this, but they obviously don't know what cannons do. But it should be fun. 20 skeletons, Gorst on his corpse cart, who, because he was involved in a combat last game that killed a unit, he actually gained the Master of the Dead rule. 3 Vargeists and 20 ghouls. And that's, oh, and I've got my dogs ambushing as well. So let's look at size army. Okay, I've been equipped with a few more dudes. So over here I have my unit of swordsmen. They have a Grand Theogonist in, or sorry, an Arch Lector, not a Grand Theogonist. Then I have the cannon. They've managed to obviously repair it since then, or find another for me to blow my men up with. Then I have the unit of handgunners, which I've got the Arch Lector, the Witch Hunter in. Then I've got a unit of 20 Flagellants. And I've got Volkmar the Grim on these bloody great Pope-mobile. And then I've got the unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun, who, because they defeated a unit in close combat, they actually get, the Preceptor gets Devastating Charge, so he gets +1 attack on the charge. So with that, we will see you at the end of the first turn, because I've got to assault this. Empire got the first turn, so I marched people up, they stayed put, these guys marched around, and then basically in the magic phase, I cast the Battle Prayer to, which was Shield of Faith on these guys and these guys. They also get it because they're within 6 of the Pope-mobile. Then, because I rolled pretty massive, I got 11 dice. I then just 6 diced banishment on the corpse card. Got a double 6. Rolled 9 die. Got 9 hits. I've got 3d6. Most of them were on the corpse cart, and I got 3 of them. I think I rolled 1 wound on the corpse cart, which it took, and I managed, even with 3 hits, managed to get 1 wound on the necromancer. But because he was still injured from last time, it was enough, and it put him down. So it just leaves Manfred. So with that, it's now then it was shooting. So these guys shot at the Crypt Horrors, missed. There's too much stuff in the way, so it's pinging off all the walls and that. So the cannon wheeled at Manfred, but he had rather cleverly ducked behind a statue of Moor, and then the cannon just shattered it into small stones. So with that, it is the end of Empire Turn 1, and it's now time for Vampire Counts Turn 1. Okay, so it's the end of Vampire Counts Turn 1, and I attempted to be stupid and succeeded. So I chose the Vargeists and Manfred at the Swordsman, and nothing else moved. These guys just moved over a bit, and that was it. I failed at Manfred, so I screwed myself out with a magic face. So we went straight to combat, and I whiffed horrendously, and I've only got 1 guy left, and he lost 2. So yeah, so that's the end of Vampire Counts Turn 1, and it was pretty bad. So let's see what happens in Turn 2 after I hit a cannonball. Okay, it's the end of Empire Turn 2. To capitalise on the failed charge of Manfred, basically I sent the Knights of the Blazing Sun as they would heroically charge the zombies. Then I charged in the Flagellants as well. They needed an 8, I made that. Then in the magic phase, I buffed these guys up with Soulfire. They got it because of they were 6 inches of the Pope-mobile. Then Ollie dispelled my
my attempt to give them rerolls to hit. Then in the shooting phase, I shot the cannon. Unfortunately I couldn't cannon Manfred because there was a chance of hitting these guys. So I had to shoot undead instead, skeleton, sorry. Yeah, it's a slightly wide-ranging thing. Yeah, I killed 4 skeletons, then my handgunners shot them as well, and killed another 3. Which was rather pretty good. Then in close combat, I managed to wipe out the last of the Vargeists, only losing 1 guy. Then over there, I managed to kill 4 zombies, losing none. And then I crumbled another guy. Then over here was pretty brutal, obviously charging in. I had, and unfortunately because with the Arch Lector, I attempted to give them Soulfire as well, but failed, so I just had to go with the attacks that I had, and yeah, I first off managed to sacrifice 2 guys, which was sufficient enough to, well, basically give me the rerolls to hit and wound. So with that, I basically wiped out, I think I killed 10 guys all in all, losing 5, and then he crumbled another 7 I think, which left him with only 3 guys. So they're not frenzied now, so I should hopefully mop them up pretty quick. My turn.
Ghouls aren't frenzied anyway.
Oh, sorry, I keep thinking they're frenzied. Yeah, so it's Cryptors that are frenzied, aren't they?
No.
They're not? I can't remember. Something's frenzied.
Oh, the Vargeists are frenzied.
Ah, that's one. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was a pretty successful turn for me. So yeah, I now go on to Vampire Counts, turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Vampire Counts turn 2, and I'd like to say it was a really good turn, but it wasn't. Okay, so I moved Manfred up. I didn't want to fail the charge again, or have his guys flee and leave me in the lurch again, so I just moved up. Everything else as you see it, pretty much didn't move actually. Then in the magic phase I rolled a nice one, I've got 9 dice. I cast Spirit Leech on his Art Lector and did nothing. Rolled a 1, he rolled a 5, so did nothing. Then I used the other 6 dice to do something that no one else has ever thought of, and 6 dice Purple Sun. So the second time I've ever cast it, and I rolled really bloody high without getting a miscast, which is lovely. And bearing in mind he doesn't have a level 4, that should have gone through, but no, he rolled a double 6 and stole it.
Yeah, I actually managed to roll 31 in total as well for the...
31? Yeah, but I rolled like stupid amount. But yeah, so he dispelled it, which was a shame. So now I'm sitting out there with my arse in the wind, and it's not going to go well. So that was really bad, because I was hoping to get like loads of power dice back and then cast even more spells, but it didn't happen. So that wasn't good. The ghouls over here got killed by the flagellants from hell, which is not good. This guy's just sitting there looking pretty. But luckily, luckily, obviously through years of training, the zombies actually managed to wipe out the elite knights. Well, I didn't actually wipe them out. In fact, what happened is he killed loads of mine, but still went through static combat res, and he ran away, and his banner tripped over and died. Yeah, so but I'll take it. So yeah, pity kills for the win. So we're heading into size turn 3.
Okay, it's the end of Empire turn 3, and I think I might have thrown things away a little bit here. Opting for a truly cinematic, glorious finish. I charged in the swordsman against the skeletons, and I charged the war altar in against old matey boy. And yeah, unfortunately, it didn't pan out as well as I would have liked. Essentially, what happened was, charged in, I buffed up this unit to get rerolls to wounds, I then tried to 6 dice cast the speed of light, which I had in the Ring of Lowlands from this guy, but I rolled pretty low and Ollie easily dispelled it. So with that, I was a bit boxed because, yeah, what actually happened is Manfred is a vampire, and even unarmed, he is still more than a match for Volkmar Grimm. And yeah, he got 3 hits, 3 wounds, and I failed all the arm saves.
Oh, you didn't roll for the hunger.
I don't think you rolled a 6, did you?
No, you just.
Oh, you just get it. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So that was rather unfortunate, as I lost him, and with that, I think I've just fucked myself right over. So yeah.
You could hold on a stubborn 5.
Yeah, I did, which is a bit silly. Then over here, I continued the whiffage by failing my fear test and then failing to remember that skeletons are only weapon skill 2. So I thought I was hitting on 5s when I wasn't, in fact, but really didn't matter because I would only be about another 2-3 hits at most, and I only managed to do 1 wound because Ollie got a bit lucky with his armor saves. But yeah, with that, they at least come back after fleeing, and these guys moved up, as did they. So yeah, it's a bit dodgy at the moment. I actually have little idea as what I want to do. Really, what I should have done was dancing around to the side, out of his charge arc, and then just 6 dice banishment at him until he went away. That's what I should have done. Unfortunately, I decided that was a bit lame when losing is.
Still, banishment's not very good against him because it's only running on a 5 and I've got 4 armor against it. So.
Yeah, I get 3D hits against it. I can afford to keep doing it until he dies. Sure. But yeah, bit of a shame that. So yeah, I'm going to have to rethink what's going on now. So yeah, it's now time for Vampire Counts, turn 3. At the end of turn 3, and I decided that Keanu Reeves and 47 Ronin screwed me over. I watched it last night while painting the garden more, and I think I got a bit too excitable. So yeah, I attribute Keanu to my demise. Yeah, a pretty poor turn for me, unfortunately, in that this is actually Ollie's turn.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the end of Vampire Counts turn 3. So I charge the zombies into the knights. Charge Manfred. Oh no, Manfred was already in contact. I charge the corpse cart into those. The dogs into the cannon. In the magic phase, I cast Doom and Darkness on the altar, so it's stubborn 2. And then I cast Doom and Darkness, but failed to cast it. Sorry, not Doom and Darkness. Soul Blight, and failed to cast that. So. Was into the magic. Then in the close combat phase, I managed to beat the swordsman, but not run them down. This combat I won, but he held. These guys ate the cannon, and that was pretty much it. So we're heading into size turn 4 now.
Okay, it's the end of Empire turn 4. Not a particularly good turn, unfortunately. These guys did come back. I attempted to charge with these guys. I only needed a 6 or more, but failed. So with that, I had no magic phase, so we moved on to shooting. I managed to put 2 wounds on the corpse cart, although unfortunately it's not enough to kill it. So I've still got to take it up the arse, as to say. I managed to kill 4 zombies over there for the loss of none, so I actually won the combat by 1. So they're holding, and I'm slowly whittling that unit down, and that's it really. So yeah, unfortunately I can identify the cause of my distress. I think I watched 47 Ronin last night while painting these models, painting my garden more. So yeah, I think it's Keanu's fault because I was getting a bit too excitable for cinematics rather than actually just what I should have done, which was dance around to the side of him and shoot him with management until he died from it. So, but well, it's all good fun. My plan could have worked and it could have been glorious. But It didn't. So yeah, with unfortunately his general still resolutely refusing to die. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. So yeah, we will see now. Vampire Counts turn 4.
Okay, rather sneakily, so was going to concede until he realised he was winning.
By somehow quite some significant margin as well.
Yeah.
Apparently,
he's winning by a lot.
Yeah, apparently killing my general is bad.
Yeah, I actually lost the victory point for killing Volkmar, so it's like, so I charged him in because he knew that. So he didn't know that. Yeah. So his cinematic thing actually worked out. Volkmar sacrificed himself in order for me to lose a victory point.
By grabbing hold of Manfred's sword and impaling himself on it.
So Manfred the useless is even more useless now because he's actually killed Volkmar too quickly. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, so believe it or not, Sai is actually winning by quite a margin, in fact. So what happened? Zombies got eaten by knights. Oh well, we'll go through this first. So I just moved these guys up. I charged into these guys.
They fled.
They fled, and then they fled again from the skeletons. So they took some dangerous terrain tests, but they're still all right. These guys, oh no.
They fled because the corpse cart was in the charge.
Oh yeah, the corpse cart charged and they fled. Then in the magic phase, I rolled a 1 and a 6, then re-rolled the 1 to get a 6 with the Master of the Black Arts. I cast Fate of Boona on the Art Lector, killed him. And then I cast something else. But to cut a long story short, I cast Purple Sun. And it went off by loads with a...
Oh, we forgot to do the miscast for Purple Sun.
Did he do a miscast?
Yes, he did, because that's how it went off.
Okay, got a miscast as well. I'll do that in a sec. But as it turns out, I misfired with the Purple Sun. So it's one time I've actually got it off. Misfired with it. It scattered just enough to hit the corpse cart and kill it. And hit Manfred as well, but luckily passed his initiative test. Now you're going to see what he got for the miscast. Oh dear. Oh dear. You saw it live. Okay, so let's see if it's Suction's the Void. He doesn't. Thank God for that.
So you
So it's a strength 10, doesn't he?
Rather, decent.
Yeah.
Powerful,
Yes, he takes a wound. He gained his wound back last time from casting. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Raise Dead. Cost Raise Dead there to slow these guys down.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm still losing, but I nearly lost my general as well. So that's nice. Like I said, the combat over here, so I killed loads of them. I killed one here.
Well, you would have lost D6 from the power pool at that point, and I think I might have still had an Arch Lector if.
No, because
you killed the Arch Lector first, didn't you?
Yeah, if I'd lost the power dice, then I could have cast the Purple Sun, so I couldn't have lost the corpse cart.
No, that's a good point. Yep, that's fine.
I'd be fine with losing those dice. I'm going to go retroactively. So that was it. So I'm losing, and I nearly lost by even more. But I could have saved myself by actually power draining, losing those power dice and not sucking my corpse cart into the void. But never mind. So that's why I'm winning by such a margin now. I don't think it really matters. So we'll now move into his turn. No.
My turn 5.
Turn 5, yeah.
The end of Empire turn 5. Basically, I charged the flagellants at the undead that were there. So the conga line of dudes, and chopped them all up. As I had rerolls to hit and wound. Then I overran into the skeletons. I managed to reform these guys. These guys didn't, however, they were shit scared. And in the close combat over here, I killed 2 zombies with the horsemen and 2 zombies with the horses. Then the last one failed to do anything and he crumbled. And yeah, I'm okay to move them in. So next turn, now it's time for Vampire Counts. Turn 5.
Right. Okay, it's the end of Vampire Counts turn 5. So Manfred moved up here. The dogs attempted to charge these guys, which paid off because although they fled, He did run through dangerous terrain, or impossible terrain, and lost his witch hunter, and the sergeant, and another guy as well. But thankfully for Sai, they're still over 25%, so they can rally. This combat, sorry, the magic phase even, rolled a lot of dice, I think it was 10, and I cast a purple sun through these guys, killing four of them, yeah. I cast a Van Hell's Dance Macabre on these guys, giving them rerolls to hit. Also cast Invocation on them, and so I dispelled it. And then with the 2 dice I got back from the Purple Sun, which is the last one I cast, I actually attempted to cast Hellish Vigour, which failed. Then in the close combat, I killed 2 more of his, so he had 2 left. But they rerolls to hit, and they did actually win the combat by 3. So there was I ended up killing one of them. He won by 3, so I've only got 4 guys left, so that's a shame. And that was it. So now heading off into Sai's turn 6. Mm-hmm. So that'll be interesting.
Okay, it's the end of Empire turn 6. Basically, these guys rallied, as did they. These guys marched into the deployment zone, and the very last flagellant fell on his sword in frenzy, which is stupid, but yeah. So with that, that is the end of my game. So now we just have to see what Ollie can do in his turn 6.
Okay, so it's the end of Vampire Count's turn 6. I'm going to attempt to win the game. I rolled loads of dice. In fact, I rolled double 1. So I re-rolled one with Master of the Black Arts and got 7. So I fired a purple sun out my arse, literally, at these guys. Unfortunately, I only killed 2 of them, and they passed their panic test, so they stayed. And then I got 2 dice back from the 2 I killed, and I had 1 left over. So then I cast Gaze in the Gash at these guys. I unfortunately only rolled a 5 and killed 1 of them, which wasn't enough for a panic test. So although he tried, and pretty good averages of actually taking both out, he failed to do so. And with that last Gaze in the Gash, he actually rolled a miscast again, then rolled a 3, but managed to pass the test again, so he's still alive and took another wound. So by some miracle, he has in fact survived the game, but the victory is Sai's, as he has a lot of points. He's got 1 from this, 1. Oh, and his flagellant. Oh no, you think you mentioned that in your turn? Did you die in your turn?
Yeah, he fell on this
yeah, he flailed himself. He flailed. Flailed.
It was an epic flail.
Yeah, so it's the end of the game, and Sai has won this one. So
I don't know how, when you consider what we've got left on the board.
Yeah, it's quite a crazy scenario that. For me to have Manfred left and him to still win is. But then I purple sun more times than I care to.
You got 4 purple suns off.
Yeah, that was great. Don't really recommend purple sun, but in a friendly game it seems fine.
4 purple suns, 2-dimensional cascades.
Yeah, that guy survived everything. He survived cannonballs, banishments, you name it. Oh, it's crazy.
His own purple sun that he...
Yeah, he purple sun himself and his mate. Right, so we're going to move into game 3 now, and we're just going to do some logistical stuff and see what rewards we get. So, which unfortunately, losing a point for killing Volkmar probably means I don't get anything, so we'll have to see. Okay, scenario 3, which is called the Hidden Necropolis. So we've got my forces, which are a Clan Wraith, a Banshee, a Mortis Engine, who counts as the General, and 5 Hex Wraiths, fighting against Sai's Luminarch, 20 Militia with a Champion Guy. I don't think they have standards. And a... what's he called? Light Wizard, level 4 Light Wizard. So I got Banishment and Chance of Only Gaze, which is all that matters. Because he's got to kill all my ethereal stuff, or he's got to kill the Mortis Engine. I've got to kill his Luminarch. So there's some other victory conditions as well, but we'll get to those as they happen. So yeah, moving into Empire turn 1. Okay, it's the end of game turn 2. I moved up, but obviously Sai went first. So Sai moved up his stuff and then rolled a really big magic face. Did lots of nasty things to my Hex Wraith. He never found and talked to them. Shem's burning gaze, which I dispelled, and then he banished them. Did about 1,000 wounds. No, they don't. They don't live here anymore. So yeah, so they're dead. So moving into size turn 3. Okay, so it's the end of game turn 2, 3 even. So Sai moved up like that, fired a banishment at my Mortis engine, who was behind here. Yeah, we rolled a really low magic phase, but still got it off. Managed to do a single wound to it, although it did roll pretty well. Didn't wound so well. And I made an armour save, or 2 armour saves, and then a regen save. So it actually took 1 wound in the end, which is good. So got no way of healing yet. Then in my turn, these 2 went up like crazy. Within 12 of this guy. The Banshee screamed at him, managed to do a wound to him. And that was it. So moving into game turn 4 now. It's flying by. Okay, so that was the end of turn 4, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Play turn 4. So Sai moved back from my Banshee and my Wraith. Fired his weird cannon thing from the by casting the spell. I dispelled it. Then he Shemsburn engaged the Banshee, and then he banished the Kenrith. And in my turn, Kenrith came back. I just moved up here, and that's just hiding behind the barn, hoping for something. So yeah, it's going pretty much how I thought it was going to go. When a level 4 light gets to cast loads of direct damage spells on ethereals. So heading into player turn 5 now. Okay, so it's the end of the quickest player turn ever. Sai fired a big bolt of death at my Wraith, killed him, and just swiftly formed these guys to move around there. Then in my turn, the Wraith came back here and marched over here, so he's threatening it again, so he can bolt it again. This guy just moved around just to stay alive a bit longer. Heading into player turn 6, isn't it? Yeah, 6.
5.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so in the player turn 5, yeah. So Sai moved around like this, moved around like that. In his magic phase he fired a big bolt of death, I dispelled it, and my Mortis engine just danced around the building. And that was the end of player turn 5, moving into the last turn.
Okay, we are doing the final game in Sigmar's Blood campaign, and it's called Battle of the Barrows. And basically I have to assault Manfred's fortress. So with me on this mighty attempt at fortress assaulting, I have a great cannon. I have the Knights of the Blazing Sun from the first game. I have a unit of swordsmen, and they have the Witch Hunter in. He's recovered from tripping over himself and breaking his leg. We have the Arch-Lector Illuminarch. He is also recovered after getting his ass kicked by Manfred. Then we have the unit of Flagellants, and then we have in there's an Arch-Lector, and then we have a unit of handgunners. Then basically, due to come in ambushing, I have a unit of 20 militia, a light wizard, and the Luminarch. And then coming in on my second turn as reserves, going to be another 8 units of knights, a Hellstorm rocket battery, and I wish I had those, but in fact they're going to be demigriffs. So that will be my army, and we will hand over to Ollie and see what he gets in his defence.
Okay, for vampire deployment we have 3 Vargheists, 5 Hexwraiths, 30 zombies, Mortis engine, 20 ghouls, Whispering Knell in the tower, 20 skeletons with the Kenwraith, Gorst and Manfred. And then in reserve we have the Black Knights, Veric the Blade, 20 skeletons, they're all coming on turn 2, and then the dogs are ambushing. So we shall head over to... we need to roll, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get +1. So I got 7.
Right.
Let's go first.
Okay, it's the end of Empire Turn 1. Basically, everyone just moved up a bit. These three guys, they stayed where they are. Magic phase, or a double 6. Basically 6 diced Soulfire and 6 diced the Shield of Faith, to give basically them, and them 5-up ward and burn everyone in contact. I actually forgot they had banishment, but thanks to Ollie, he reminded me, so I won't make that mistake again. So yeah, with that, it's time for Vampire Counts Turn 1.
Okay, so it's the end of Undead Turn 1, and I moved the Vargeists up along with everything else. Everything just shuffled forward apart from the Mortis engine. These two got the regen save, they moved up. Manfred moved up bravely. Then we went to the magic phase, rolled I think 8 dice.
Yeah, you got 8.
Yeah. And I started off with a what was the first thing I cast?
Fated Booner.
No, that wasn't in range. What was the first thing? Killed. Oh no, it was Gazing the Gash at Voltmar. And I think you dispelled it.
Yeah, I dispelled it.
Then I did a purple sun again, because I'm clever. And I got it off, and it went through these 2 units, killed his Arc Lector. 7 of these guys and 5 of these guys, they passed their panic tests.
6 of those guys,
yeah, 6 of those guys, sorry. And I got 4 dice back, and I used the 4 dice to cast Harass of Laneth on Voltmar and killed him, because he already taken a wound from the previous battle. So he had 2 left, and I managed to do 2 for 2. Oh, actually, no, I wouldn't have got any extra dice from that. So, just proving the Law of Death is horrendous, but there we go. So, Sai's going to 6 dice of banishment now, and we'll be even.
Got 6 dice for many banishments.
Yeah. There's no close combat, so we're heading into Empire Turn 2.
Okay, so it's now Empire Turn 2. Reeling from the loss of quite a substantial amount of my forces, I rolled for my reserves and got them, and they came on next to the Skullvein Mance. So the wizard and his retinue of militiamen, and the Luminarch came over here. So the rest of my riders came in, so I got 3 demigryphs, another 8 knights, and a Hellstorm rocket battery. So with that in mind, went on to the magic phase, and I got a bit of a doozy. I got 11, and I decided that I was going to spam the skill, and having moved everyone up. Oh, sorry, I should have said that I declared a charge with these guys against the ghouls, but they failed, so they just moved forward 4. Basically, I cast banishment with the Luminarch on Manfred, and basically got 3 6s, so it went off and it did him 2 wounds. And then with the wizard, who also came on, he also had banishment and he 5 diced it and miscast, and killed Manfred. He then dimensionally cascaded, managed to kill 10 guys, and get sucked into the warp, and then the rest ran off the battlefield. Hence why I have nothing over there. So I had killed Manfred, which was nice because it put a couple of wounds on the corpse cart and on the mortis engine, and it killed a few zombies and a few skeletons. So that was rather nice from the crumble, although the wizard took over. He was only general for a short amount of time, because as it came to my shooting phase,
Yeah, he was general for a whole phase.
Old Cannon Boy Mark II actually managed to do something, and he bounced straight over the skeletons and square onto the head of the Necromancer, not wounding the wounding the Necromancer and killing him, but Ollie passed his regen for the corpse cart itself. So with that, it then went on to generalship of the army, went on to the mortis engine itself. So even though it's not got anything on it, it counts as the general for crumbling. So Ollie won't have to take crumble tests until I manage to kill him. Yeah. So
I lost my banshees.
Oh yes, yeah, he lost his banshee as well. So yeah, so basically the pair of us are reeling from hefty casualties. So we'll now have to see what happens in Vampire Counts Turn 2. And then this will be a good series to do.
Okay, so it's the end of Vampire Counts Turn 2. It's Turn 2, isn't it?
Yes.
Ouch. Okay, so I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation. I've got the dogs on over there, the skeletons of Veric the Blade over here, the knights popped up over here. I had no magic to speak of, in fact I had no magic at all. So I move corpse cart up, and then I charge these two into the flagellants, the hex race into the knights, and that was pretty much it. Yeah. So then we went straight to close combat. The hex race killed two of the knights and beat them, but they held. These guys killed a fair few flagellants, they killed some in return. I won the combat, but they were unbreakable. And that was it. So it's the end of Vampire Counts Turn 2. So it's not looking that good, because obviously I have no magic support, which is quite bad. But at least I'm getting some stuff killed before I go down. So, oh, also the Var guys killed the cannon. So that was good.
Okay, it's a quick Empire turn. Yeah, essentially I just had to move some stuff about. Everyone just moved up. I'm in a bad position now. The ambushes coming from all around has really screwed me over. So I really don't know what to do now. Even though I have hit him hard, I don't think I can hit him hard enough with what's left to finish him off. So yeah, I've got to see. So yeah, essentially with the movement, the magic phase, I didn't roll well enough to really get anything off. I didn't get banishment, which would have been nice, and I didn't get anything else. So bloody mortis engine is still alive and kicking. Yeah, like I say, with the appearance of Ollie's reinforcements everywhere, I'm really struggling to put like a put my finger on the holes in my line really. So I've lost an entire flank with the loss of the flagellants. So yeah, I'm in a bit of danger. So yeah. Really and truly, yeah, that's about all there is to say. So, yeah, it's time for Vampire Counts Turn 3.
Okay, it's in the Vampire Counts Turn... I don't even know. What time is it? Turn 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, turn 4. Okay, so I move the hex race up, charge the dogs into these guys. I attempted to charge the can wraith into the Pokemobile and it fled. To charge these into the Luminarch, it fled. These guys charged into the Knights. These guys reformed. That was pretty much it. Had no magic, so I went straight into close combat. Dogs lost the combat, losing one, but they did kill a few of the swordsmen. And these guys butchered the Knights and overrun them. Unfortunately, he didn't run far enough, so I caught him, and therefore couldn't overrun out the charge arc of these guys, so I'm going to get eaten now. So he's in Ep Knights, cost me a unit of Black Knights now. But it was pretty nice to chew them up like that. He failed a fear test, I was hitting him on 2s. Unfortunately I still rolled a couple of 1s, but... and that was it. So, pretty good turn. Certainly a lot closer, even though I haven't got a mortis engine as a general. But other than that, it's going alright. So heading into Empire Turn 5.
Okay, so it was another pretty brutal turn. Not too bad for the Empire though. Basically, I charged the Demigryphs into the Black Knights. And that was really it. They just elected to hold by the wayside. Although if I thought about it, I might have done something, but doesn't matter. Okay, so with that, I charged the demigryphs. Then I had a magic phase after moving these guys around a little. And bringing those guys back. The knights that were over here fled, as did the Pope-mobile. So then with the magic phase, I rolled a 3. So I used my 3 dice against Ollie's 2 and got off the bolt of Solstheim, which finished off the Mortis engine, which blew up quite spectacularly. As it was the end of turn 5, it basically killed 7 zombies. So with that, that was the end of that phase. So we went to shooting. The Hellstorm rocket battery shot at this, and an amazing display. I think I must have killed nearly 10 ghouls, which was pretty incredible. As I got really lucky and rolled like a 2 on the artillery dice, and not very much scatter. So yeah, really got my maximum out of that, and trimmed that unit down a lot. Then in close combat, I killed the dogs. Oh yeah, that was my way. Killed the dogs, reformed. Sorry, that was why they didn't do anything. And then over here, I killed the Black Knights. They crumbled and are reformed. So yeah, that was it. So the pair of us basically nursing severe damage to all our forces.
And I've got crumble checks to look forward to.
Yes. So yeah, with that, we will see you at the end of Vampire Counts turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of Vampire Counts turn 5, so I did some crumbling and lost a fair few guys, down to 1 zombie now. It's bearing in mind his leadership 2, and he's got to take another crumble check before the end of this game. That's not looking too good. These guys crumbled down pretty badly. Hexrace charged into the Swordsman. These guys charged into the Luminarch, which is running off. And these guys just moved up over here. That's pretty much it. Then in this combat, I managed to win the combat by a few, and then he broke and I pursued him and killed him. So I managed to kill the Witch Hunter finally, and his retinue. So that's looking good for me. Trouble is, I've got another crumble test to deal with, but first it's size turn. So we rolled for it, and the game carries on. So we'll see what happens in size turn 6.
Okay, very quick turn. These guys just legged it because they didn't want any of it. This guy came back, so the Luminarch. Then in the magic phase, I got 6 dice versus Ollie's 4, so I got off the spell, wounded it, but only did 2 wounds. And then the Hellstorm rocket battery tried to drop a bomb on these boys, but unfortunately misfired and blew up. But fair enough, it did its job. So with that, it's now time for Ollie's crumble test, turn 6. Well, it was a suitably brutal game, and it all came to the end at turn 6. And yeah, wow, what a lot happened. In the end, basically after totting up all the victory points, I got 10 and Ollie got 12. And the differences were basically down to a dice roll. In that I only got 1 victory point for killing Manfred, and he got 3 for killing Volkmar. So yeah, you know, it could have been evens, or I could have won as well. So yeah,
if we both rolled average, would we fall as well?
That's it. So it kind of represents that even though both generals are killed, there are enough vampires and distant relatives of Manfred to keep Sylvania actually exceptionally strong. So they've not really lost that much of a power vacuum. Manfred might find his castle occupied when he rises again and have to do a bit of bailiffing. But other than that, the sort of forces of undeath aren't really going to suffer too much problem. But on the out home for the Empire, the loss of Volkmar the Grim, either he's dead or so badly wounded that they actually have to abandon the campaign and hightail it back to the Empire, having suffered exceptionally terrible losses. So so Sylvania has been attacked. Manfred has been killed, although Volkmar the Grim has been laid low and is not dead, but he is injured enough that he has to skippy off home. So yeah, what a brutal game. I think it really came down to the crumble test at the end.
Yeah.
I think perhaps if we'd had another turn, those skeletons probably would have died, and maybe if I was lucky, got rid of the hex wraiths.
Yeah.
But I very much doubt I was going to put them down, as they're not subject to crumbling. You know, if I'd thought about it and maybe chanced my luck, I could have got them, but I could have just as easily lost them to the hex wraiths. So there's very little point in me. Was a very little point in me moving it. But yeah, ended up the end of Ollie's go. He crumbled massive amounts of skeletons, although he still had 2 left. The rest of the ghouls, the zombie, there was the corpse cart as well. So yeah, he lost like 3 or 4 victory points in his last turn, just down to crumbling. But it really was a brutal game, and it was sort of as I imagined, a really nasty game of chess where, you know, we both sacrificed our leaders very early on. Yeah. I think I had the advantage on the fact that I was able to still maximise my magic phase all the way through the game, while unfortunately Ollie, without his casters, was sort of unable to really do anything.
Yeah, I literally lost both in the same turn, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, cause even with things like Gaze and the Gash, you could have been chipping away at these guys. And you could have been,
I lost all my range power.
Van Hells as well on any of the units that you got in combat would have, you know, turned the tide, really. You might not have lost the dogs and just put the swordsman down like nice and quick. So yeah, it was sort of pretty brutal, but a very good game, very fun campaign as well to play. Can't recommend it enough, actually.
Yeah, it's really good.
You know,
the scenarios look really kind of imbalanced at first, and you think, how can they win? But they actually surprised me how many times these games turned around. You know, one turn I was thinking, I've lost this. The next turn I was thinking, I've won this, and then I lost it. You know, it was incredible how. Yeah. And there was so much going on, particularly in this game. You know, this whole flank just disappeared, and yet it was quite strong before. You know, just things were coming out of the woodwork, weren't they?
Yeah, the way the undead reinforcements came in really put pay to it, and those hex wraiths as well are really nasty.
Yeah, they were, for me, were man of the match.
Yeah.
Well, this game, you know.
I think really what I should have done was I should have tried to target them with banishment a bit earlier on in the game, and sort of chopped them down.
I think they need to be banished from.
Yeah, they were just
particularly against like your knights and that.
Well, that's it. I mean, had I had that unit of knights, I think I might have been able to prevail against the Vargeists and actually kind of do some stuff. But yeah, it was not to be. And but you know, I had some very good magic phases, so I can't really complain. Unfortunately, that first one where the second one, sorry, where I just absolutely hammered Manfred with 2 banishments. You know, it's not the kind of not the kind of thing.
Shot in the back with a banishment.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the kind of thing you'd expect to see in any stretch of the imagination, because 2 banishments in one turn.
Well, you'd never see Manfred riding out on a horse on his own.
God, no.
That was the biggest struggle for me. I think I was amazed he survived the second game, but I'm not surprised he died in this game. He had a cannon, a luminarch, 2 banishments facing him. It was bad.
Would have been different, obviously, if he was in the Black Knights, because then if he was in the Black Knights, he would have
looked outside for one of them.
Yeah. Well, he would have also
just had the Knights banished as well. So.
Well, he would have been in a better position. So yeah, but that sort of swings and roundabouts. So it's like, well, bring my.
I suppose they could have put him next to the Hex Race for a look outside.
Well.
Thinking about it, but even then, I don't know how it would work actually. But yeah, I mean, it was a good game though. Considering how ropey the army looked, it was surprisingly fun. So.
Yeah, it all came.
To be said for playing like these smaller, not smaller games, but like smaller units, less powerful units.
Yeah, it sort of made us think that maybe parts of our campaign should have some restrictions on.
Yeah, I think so.
On armies and stuff.
We're planning a year-long campaign with the like battle, Mighty Empire stuff and the Badlands. Was it Blood in the Badlands? Like me, Si, and hopefully another mate of ours will join. So yeah, so we're looking to have these kind of like, you know, these kind of games where you got these little 20-man blocks and that. So because I think it works quite well actually. It's certainly a lot more challenging. So if we put all these restrictions on, then you know, like say a unit cap or horde or roll rule doesn't work. Because me and Si both love taking hordes, but you know, maybe it'd be more fun if we didn't. So.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, you know, sort of small 20-man units really sort of force us to think.
They're not optimal. They're just like, here's 20 guys. You know.
You have to use them right to get the most out of it. So Ollie charging
ranks and flanks.
That's it. Like Ollie charging my my flagellants with his 2 units just to maximise the amount of damage you could put out. Minimising.
You don't see that normally, do you?
No. I mean it's usually either two hordes versus 1 for a crushing victory, or
horde versus horde. Whoever's got them.
And whoever wins. Dukes it out, and then So with this, it was very much kind of it was a lot more tactical. So all in all, you know, really good. Really applaud Games Workshop for that, and quite disappointed that they didn't include the name of the author or authors on that campaign book, because they bloody should have done, because they deserve a pat on the back for that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. I'll put some money down there. Probably Phil Kelly had something to do with some of it, because it does smell Phil Kelly like.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't written by Matt Ward.
No, or it would have been like, you know, 4 units of demigriffs, you know, hordes upon hordes of horrible units, Death Wizard, Light Wizard, and you would have got 2 20-man units of zombies and a level 1 necromancer on a corpse cart.
That was excellent. I really enjoyed it. Maybe we'll play it again like later in the year.
Yeah, man, we'll
the roles reversed or something like that.
Yeah, I'll be up for it. Yeah, well, I would imagine by that point I'll have done some painting with Empire. Yeah. I've started to get enough forces together actually that I can actually start assembling parts of an army. So I'll be digging it out of boxes and stuff, and I'm sort of slowly been putting my hands on bits and bobs. So yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, it was definitely good fun. So with that we'll leave it, and we'll see you later for another game of Warhammer.